What's up, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to cover 5 things that I wish I knew prior to coming to Granada, Spain. Number one, everyone loves kids. It seems like everywhere we go, our daughters are being admired and loved on. People are talking to them, calling them pretty. It's just such an interesting thing. People pat them on the head. And in America, that would freak me out. But here, it's just part of the culture. There's such a love for kids and a precedent set on children. And that seems very inviting, very cool. It took us off guard at first, but it's we've came around. It's been interesting. So that would be at number one, knowing that prior to coming here, because at first it kind of threw us off guard. So that was definitely interesting for us to get accustomed to. Um, Two, people are very intentional with their time here. What I mean by that is every time we see people out in public and they're having a conversation, it's like eye contact, the conversation's going, and they're having a good time, and you don't ever see a phone come out. They're not having a conversation talking like this. Their conversation is very intentional and present. And in America, that's not something that I'm really accustomed to seeing. Every time that we went out in America or went to the park or, went to the museum or wherever we took the girls, I always saw a phone in someone's hand. And their conversation over here is just, I don't want to say emotional because I don't want to give it the wrong, I don't want it to be perceived wrong, but it's impactful. So that's really cool to see how in depth people get within their conversation and how there's no distraction. It's just one on one. That's something that I think is incredible. I wish that we could get back to that. Number 3 on my list is the bus systems are easier than you think. And when we first got here, we were very intimidated by the bus system. Now, in Granada, the bus system, you go to the tobacco store. Sounds weird. You'll go to the tobacco store and you'll purchase a bus card that looks like this. Let's see if I can focus. So this bus card is gold. It's gold. One trip on the bus, one way, will cost you 0.63 or 63 cents euro, with the bus card. Or if you don't have a bus card, it'll be like $1 or €1 and 63 cents. So it makes that much of a difference. It adds up. Now, obviously, it depends on where you're going and how far you're going, but for quick travel, 20 minutes down the road, this is crucial. And know what you're thinking. The tobacco store, it's weird, but that's where we got these. Now, if you were in the city of Granada, there's a different bus card that you receive or that you can get, and you can't refill them at the tobacco store. So it's very weird. It takes some getting used to, and you got to learn your way around. But the bus system is very easy to navigate with Google Maps. We've gotten around with Google Maps being the whole reason we didn't end up on the other side of the country, because it'll give you stop by stop and tell you, you need to get off on your next stop, or you have 7 stops before you reach your final destination. And it's been very concise. It made it very easy for us. And I would say I was very intimidated by it walking into it, but after getting the hang of it and doing it often, it became second nature. We would just We called ourselves pros of the bus. In America, you think of bus system and you get uneasy, but here it becomes it's a part of the lifestyle. It's not as busy as New York City or anything like that, but it is relied on like New York City would be, if that makes sense. So that's my 2 cents. You just need practice on the bus and smooth sailing. Thing number four that I wish I knew prior to coming here, and I mean, this one's kind of silly, but there are fruit trees everywhere. There's all kinds of stuff growing around us in Granada, and one example would be uh, just outside our front door, we had a lime tree. Walking down the street, we had tangerine trees. Right up the way, on the way to the park, there were lemon trees. Um, we passed olive trees on our walks, fig trees on our walks. I think that's about the extent of the fruit bearing trees. But Granada is and pomegranates. Can't forget the pomegranates. So we would pick pomegranates, and me and my daughter would just tear them up. It's so incredible, and it makes you wonder. Like, people say, don't eat the tangerines off the trees on the streets; that they're a bitter tangerine, and the pollution from the cars affects them. Um, so that's definitely something to take into consideration. All the other trees aren't right off of the road, so but the it's just so cool. I mean, in America, I want to one day plant fruit trees down our driveway now because I just thought it was the coolest thing that we would see orange, this aesthetic of it, to have orange trees, orange contrasting with the green as you're walking down the road is just such a cool thing to see. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being your average American. I got giddy about the amount of fruit trees that are around us. Now, Granada is the capital, if you will. It's known for its pomegranates. It's the pomegranate city, and it's known for its olives. There are olive trees for miles in Granada. You can be leaving the airport and see just fields and mountainsides with olive trees. Now, I don't know a lot about this, and I could be wrong, but I believe that olive trees don't need a incredible amount of water, and that their root systems go very deep and very wide, looking for water. So they do well in Granada. Granada is a more dry climate, I would say, and it's a very interesting part of the culture there. All of everything. I mean, no pun intended. The olive production there is probably up there in the world. I would say it's probably one of the biggest places that produces olives. That's an assumption, but I mean, just based off of everywhere we went, we saw olive trees, and we went all over from Sierra Nevada to Malaga, and Granada was like the hub for olives. So that was very interesting. Um, Silly, but interesting. Thing number five that I wish I knew prior to coming to Granada. Um, don't be intimidated by the language barrier. And I think this goes for probably every country. Now, I will say I've had a lot of people like, hey, be prepared. France, people don't like speaking English. In France, people get frustrated if you don't speak French. They're a very proud country of their language. But here in Spain and in Granada specifically, um, we haven't had any trouble. If there is a communication barrier there, Google Translate has saved the day, and it's not spot on. I will say it is not spot on. So understand that going into it and figure out how to work around that, because the you can problem solve with people if words aren't conjugating correctly. So, but overall, a great experience being able to translate back and forth with people with our phones. And I have learned probably more Spanish since being here in Spain than taking 6 years of Spanish in the States. Um, a lot of people here, they're English, at least in Spain as a whole, maybe not Granada so much, or where we were living. We were in Puerto Vega. Not a lick of anyone spoke English. So that was a little difficult getting around, like in our little local city. But we were about 15 minutes from downtown Granada, and you heard English a little bit. A lot of tourists go to Granada, so it was bearable. But the precedence that is set on learning English in other countries is totally different than what America looks like. And the Mexican Spanish versus Spain Spanish, there is a difference. And I remember that from grade school, and I was like, I'll never go to Spain. You know, they kind of help you believe that in grade school. But Mexican Spanish seems to be what is pushed more so in America. I mean, it makes sense with it being right down the road. But here, there's been words that were like, never even heard of that word. I'm trying to think of an example. Vale. I think that is used a lot here as like right. Like if you're having a conversation, someone's saying something, and you're like, right, right. Yeah, I got you. They use Vale, and I want to say it's Vale. Is the spelling, and the pronunciation is like the V turns to a B. Um, let me see. So Vale means okay. So but it's used for many things. And apparently, it's also used not only to say okay, but it's also used to say goodbye, to say take care, to say farewell. Um, so pretty interesting. Vale, but language barrier is nothing to fret about. If I could give one piece of advice, I would say if I could give one piece of advice, I would say that everyone needs to do this. And maybe not sell off all of your things, but explore another country and engulf yourself into the culture and the community, um, because it's so rewarding. I mean, it makes me appreciate life more and look at things differently because what we are accustomed to in America looks totally different here, and not in a bad way. So I think, appreciating your circumstances are great, but bonus sixth thing that I wish I would have known prior to coming to Granada. There is no cold dairy milk, no cow milk that is cold. Um, Cow milk's not a big thing here. Seems like if anyone drinks milk, which a lot of people don't, unless it's in their coffee, then it's goat milk. So there's a big goat goat milk presence here in Spain. So that threw us for a loop because we're very big milk drinkers in America. Um, and we drink a lot of milk. So that threw us off a little bit. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, are they using goat milk in the coffee? Cafe con leche. Um, for their lattes and stuff. I don't know. But if you like this video, comment, like, subscribe. I am going to do another video of 5 things that I wish I would have known prior to coming to the Canary Islands. And then next month we will be in France, Switzerland. So I'll probably, once I get a feel for the area and the culture and get back to the US, I'll probably make one for France and for Switzerland. So I think this would be, good information that I wish I had known prior to coming. Um, Not that, it would have deterred me or anything. I'm trying to make this positive But with that being said, I'm also going to try to do a pretty concise breakdown of each city and what it had to offer our family. I can't speak as to how that would be fitting to everyone. Um, for example, like when I researched Granada, the only thing I would find is about the Alhambra, and it's so much more than that. And in that video, I'll cover that and talk about that a little bit more in depth. So um, be prepared for all kinds of content. I really want to do a lot more short form. I'm going to be doing a lot of reels, or I guess shorts here soon. So be on the lookout for all of it. But thank you for watching. Until next time.